My name is Hayden Blucher and I'm the Engagement Lead at the Building Institute. Today we are joined by John Kitchen and Clara Sumner at GIB. So knowing our audience, GIB certainly won't need much of an introduction here today, given their huge support for the industry as well as us here at the Institute. We certainly appreciate all you do and thank you for the ongoing support. So for today, we've got some questions. And firstly, I'll throw to you just for introduction. So John, would you be able to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, John Kitchen. I'm the Industry Partnership Manager and Specification Team Lead for Winstone Wallboards. That's pretty much me.
And Claire?
Yeah, hi, I'm Clara Sumner. I have worked for Winstone Wallboards for a long time, and some of you will know me and some of you won't, but I've spent most of my career in the building industry, and I head the sales team, so National Sales Manager, and I reside in Auckland as of a year ago. But I actually am a Cantabrian.
Nice. Cool. All right. Well, we'll get into the first question then. So the first question is just around what is something you're currently excited about within your work? Could be a project, a launch, or something special that you're working on. John.
Yeah. Well, my exciting thing at the moment is I've been involved in a multi-discipline team project here at Winstone Wallboards, GIB. And that's culminated in a launch to market about 4 months ago of our new curve product called GIB Curve Line. So wow. It's probably about 2 years in the making, I guess. And it's now we've ticked all the boxes. It's now we're in release mode. So it's always good to have something new to get your teeth stuck into, and it's also solving a lot of issues with curved walls in market, which we weren't so aware of until we started offering the system. So,
awesome. That sounds exciting. And how's the uptake or interest been early on?
It's been fantastic, actually. We've been completely blown away and quite humbled by the uptake. We are probably not talking out of school, but we're probably where we are now is probably where we thought we'd be in about 12 months' time. So it's been absolutely amazing, and I guess right product at the right time, and we're just very fortunate with that.
Awesome. And Clint?
Yeah, look, as I mentioned, I've just started a new role. So when I say it has been just a year. So, for me, it's moving to a new city. It's been really an interesting opportunity. Most people think I went the wrong way, but anyway, I'm maybe not necessarily agree with them. And look, I think for me, it's sort of that bigger picture stuff at the moment. It's that ability to sort of really shape an outcome, if influence and affect change within the business, starting to sort of grow and redirect the culture within the business. And then also what I really love is just that opportunity to meet like such a range, a wide range and diverse range of people. And sometimes our customers and sometimes, partners like yourselves, and everyone has, lots of interesting perspectives and stories to tell. And one person I've, met recently who is just this really great character is a chap called Josh Chapman, NZ Builder, and he's a YouTuber. And he has quite a large following, and a lot of his audience are younger. And he is a builder, and he's building a project in Wellington at the moment called That Place Up There. And we're getting involved with Josh, and he is using some of our products, and he'll just tell a bit of a story from factory through to building side, and just share some of the his views, I guess, on how things come together and how products sort of work out on site. So it's really, I love that opportunity to do just sort of different things like that. So, and it's lovely just to get involved with sort of the new wave of customer coming through who think a bit differently to us who've been around a bit longer.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that sounds very interesting. I'm certainly going to have a little look at his work after this.
Yeah, do. He's great.
So the next question is just tell us a little bit, a lesson that you've learned in your work that you'd like to pass on to others. Do you want to start with you again, John?
I suppose for me, one thing I've learnt with the, I guess, the experience I've had in a long time in the industry is, absolutely be yourself. Don't do something if you're not passionate about it. If you struggle to get out of bed, to go to work, for instance, then maybe you need to look at, something that you are passionate about. And I guess the other thing is really be sort of genuine. Set yourself. Realize that you are your own brand. And one of the things around that, I guess, is I have been told that I have a reputation that I'll always answer the phone. And I didn't think that was anything special, but apparently it is. So yeah, that's kind of me.
Yeah, nice. I like that. All about being a good person, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And Clara?
I couldn't agree more with that. And I think, very much I can't do anything I'm not passionate about. It just doesn't sit with me. But I think one of the lessons I've learned in life is, never be afraid to surround yourself with people who are great. And sometimes they might be greater than, or better than you are, but that's okay, because collectively it takes all different sorts and different minds and different expertise, collectively coming together to get the best outcomes. So, don't let ego get in the way, and that really collective view is so important for, collective success. No one person is always going to be right. And I think a few years ago I did a training course, and I think it was a leadership course with a whole lot of great minds. And I think something that we sort of learned there was something that fell out of that conversation was the saying that said, great, have strong views, but prepared to hold them lightly. Strong views lightly held. So, good to have great opinion, but be prepared to be challenged and to look at things in different ways in order to explore and find the best solution or the best outcome.
I like that one. That's good. Yeah, and touching on the first point that you were talking about before, surrounding yourself with good people is obviously very important, and being open to learning. So that kind of leads nicely into one of our next questions, which is, tell us a little bit about a person who has been influential for you in your career, and what it is about them that you found, that's been so helpful. Do you want to continue on?
Me, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Look, I've got a really big long list. So I've been in the industry a while, and if I think, just very purely into, the success that I've been able to enjoy in the business, there's a whole list of people from, the first person who employed me, Morris Valentine, to Peter Collins, who was a great sales and technical mind who taught me a whole lot of stuff. Many people, Hazel Beatty, who was another colleague who was in a side business to Wallboards selling gypsum. Hans Gerlich, which I'm sure many people listening today will know. He's an engineer of great depth of experience and wealth of practical knowledge as well. And he's been this amazing mentor for me over my time, as is Richard Hunt, who's another colleague here in Auckland. And then, if I sort of step back and think some of my personal experiences, and I'll just think of a couple of recent ones. A few years ago, I helped a friend who was a relatively new friend, a young chap who wanted to design and build a house. And so we sort of worked together on that because, I love architecture and I love design and I love building. My dad was a builder, so I spent a lot of time in the shed as a kid. So what I really liked about working with it wasn't only because he's a young person, it was somebody who had real passion. They were willing to actually go and try doing something that they'd never done before. So it was quite bold. It's been, it's a pretty vulnerable thing to design a house when you're not a designer and put it out there for the world to judge. Yeah. So I really admire that sort of, I guess that sort of that being bold enough and prepared to take a risk. And to actually also be bold enough to follow a passion. It's a childhood passion in that case, and it was something this person really, really wanted to do, and and to be part of helping making that come true was it's really cool. And then most recently, I met another young chap. His name's Cody Everson, and Cody actually has spoken at the NZIOB Charitable Trust event in Christchurch recently, and he's a really inspirational young man. He's not quite 30, As a 15-year-old, he was playing schoolboy rugby for first 15, Shirley Boys, First Christ College, and tragically got tackled and poorly, and has ended up a tetraplegic. But the most he's just full of inspiration. He's this wonderful character. He's a young person who's had obviously an incredibly difficult situation imposed upon him, but he's positive. He shows gratitude for everything. He came along and actually spoke at our conference, John, recently, didn't he? As he was our motivational speaker, and it's so inspirational to see a young person who has just such a positive attitude, despite the challenges that have been put in front of him. And that's his catch line, no challenge is too big, and to meet people like that, that's such an inspiration to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I heard the feedback from that event that we had down in Christchurch was really positive, and a great opportunity to hear that story as well. And what about yourself, John?
Oh, I pale into insignificance after that.
Sorry.
I guess for me, I've been fortunate prior to joining GIB. We're representing a lot of international companies, and also I've been really fortunate to meet people from all over the world. And I had one very good supplier from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who his kids were the same age as mine, and so we connected. And he travelled all around the world, and we were fortunate enough to get the benefit of his experiences and in those different cultures. A good friend, again, another supplier from France, who again travelled all over the world, but they're just generally really nice people. So, and I guess as a result of that international connection, as a family, we participated in American Field Scholars, AFS, and so our daughter was living in Germany for a year, and then we've had children from Belgium, South America, Argentina, and also Finland. So yeah, again, and they're all very influential. But in terms sort of closer to home, I'm really lucky to have a colleague that looked after me and was always asking, how are you feeling? You're looking a bit tired, take time for yourself, etc. And that colleague is actually sitting beside me. So Clara, she's been a great mate and now a great boss. So yeah. And as you can tell, she's very intuitive. She picks up, she surrounds herself with amazing people and sees a lot, sees the wood for the trees, really. So yeah.
Thank you.
I know she's a bit embarrassed for me to say that, but yeah.
Well played, though. Yeah, no, some great examples there, and I like how you've obviously come across a lot of people within the roles that you do, and would have been some very influential people. And luckily for us, you've kind of brought that to us as well through the sponsorship that you have with our Mentor Mix program, which is all about some of the more wiser heads giving back to that next generation of people coming through. And thank you for the support that you offer us there. And finally, this one's a little bit of a personal question. So what do you do to keep a balance between better mental health and well-being? It's a big thing that people are talking about within work now, and we see within construction specifically, mental health challenges are top of mind for a lot of businesses. So is there something that you do in particular that helps you balance work and life a little bit easier? John?
You
go. For me, I'm very fortunate. My wife Belinda is a passionate traveller, and so we always take the time to have a holiday. We usually have a winter holiday and we have a summer holiday, and so that's important to get a break from work. In recent times, I've made it a point to actually not answer the phone, leave a message to say I'm unavailable, and I'm fortunate I just put it back on the team. And so when they're on holiday, I say don't answer the phone. We'll look after you. You look after us. And the other thing I find, and been talking recently to colleagues about it, is when I go home, I don't check emails. So from 5 o'clock on a what's today, Tuesday, to 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning, I don't check work emails. I'm still available if something urgent happens. You can always ring me or text me, but I find that you've got to have a break. You can't just keep thinking about work all the time. The balance, it's a balance, but you do have to sort of make sure that you step back and just have a break.
Yeah, I think that's a great point with devices and information being so easily accessible these days. There's a lot of people that, can sometimes always be on 24/7, and it's hard to get that separation sometimes. Yeah. And Clara, yourself?
I think that's great advice, and I never follow it. So, disclaimer: I don't always do everything I should. I mean, there's of course the obvious of exercise, eat well, and sleep well. But they're such difficult things sometimes to get right when you're rushing around, or got demands of family or work, or just trying to have that personal time. So look, I think for me, I mean, I'm reasonably comfortable with being busy, I guess. So it's about sort of knowing what your comfort zone is. And for me, I think something I find really rewarding is actually just giving people time, giving them time to listen, to sit, to do whatever it is that they might need at that time. And to me, that can be enough to really sort of refill the cup. So again, I think it's just knowing what it is that helps you as an individual sort of feel refreshed and reinvigorated.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think there has been a shift in workplaces these days to acknowledge, that the traditional working hours maybe that there once were maybe isn't the way into the future. Some people work better at different times of the day, and there's probably a shift around flexible working or working from home now, and the balance of parents as well. So lots of thinking going into that area.
Oh, absolutely, and we understand it doesn't work in all roles, and that's that can be challenging at times, but. It's giving consideration to things that are greater than just work. Because if you're not got a happy family life balance, for example, if you've got young family as an example, it's really, really struggle to turn up and show up well at work.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, 100% agree.
Yeah.
So, well, that's all of the questions for today. Thank you for such detailed answers, and for a great discussion. For anyone listening, you'll be able to find this on the resources tab of our website. Thank you very much for being a part. We look forward to seeing you at our awards on the 8th of August as one of our sponsors for them. And thank you again for all of the support you give us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hayden.
Thanks,
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, team.
See you, everyone.
Catch you.